For the latest film interviews, reviews, and everything making news in pop culture, subscribe to Film Companion now. This video is brought to you by Mubi, a curated streaming service showing exceptional films from around the globe. Get a whole month free at mubi.com/Anupama. Can you get away with murder? That is the question Drishyam 2 The Resumption asks. In 2013, at the end of Drishyam, when George Kutty walked out from that police station in slow motion, having buried a body beneath the cops' noses, we applauded. Because we desperately wanted him to win. George Kutty was all of us, an ordinary man thrown into extraordinary circumstances and doing whatever it takes to save his family. That hasn't changed. We still want to see George Kutty win. But the sequel, perhaps taking a cue from Dostoevsky, suggests that where there is crime, there will be punishment. Blood on your hands will scar your soul even if you never do jail time. This film is a genuine sequel as opposed to the ones in which characters or worlds continue with minimal connection to the earlier work. Drishyam 2 The Resumption is set 6 years after Drishyam. George Kutty's grand passion for cinema hasn't ebbed. He is now a theatre owner and an aspiring film producer. We're repeatedly told that he's in debt, but his ascent from a cable TV operator irks folks in this small town in Kerala. There is incessant gossip about the family and what may or may not have transpired that night when Varun, the IG's son, was killed. George Kutty's success doesn't seem to have brought happiness. His family is still tightly knit, but there is a sense of alienation and loneliness. George Kutty has started drinking more often. Anju, the elder daughter, is still petrified of police sirens and suffers seizures. Anu, the younger daughter, seems the best adjusted, but she's now grown up and bristling against the shackles put on her by her mother. And poor Rani. George Kutty has named his theatre after his wife, but he no longer seems to have the time or that boundless affection. She's so jittery that when he travels for work, she has the neighbor's wife sleep over. Director Jeetu Joseph, who's also written the film, spends much of the first hour establishing these family dynamics, and frankly, it's a bit of a slog. Several new characters are introduced, but none seem particularly significant. The plot makes ostensibly aimless diversions, moving from a sleepover that Anu hosts for her friends to Rani's mother traveling to Qatar. What, you wonder, is going on? But have patience. This is simply the build-up, comparable to a tame ascent on a steep roller coaster. Once the plot kicks in at around interval point, the twists and turns are so fast and furious that you might not even stop to question the plausibility of the narrative. Might is the operative word here. Drishyam 2 The Resumption doesn't have the organic seamlessness of the first film. The construction is more convoluted. You can almost see Joseph straining to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But it's equally gripping. Joseph makes sure to explain every move so you understand how characters and scenes in that first half fit into the larger story. And once again, we marvel at the mind of George Kutty. With a little more education, he could have run the world. But Joseph isn't interested in merely creating a satisfying cat and mouse game. Drishyam 2 The Resumption alludes to a larger moral design and how each one of us has to face the consequences of our actions. Once again, George Kutty and his family are pitted against the rage of the now retired IG Geeta Prabhakar. She might be a mother mourning the death of her only child, but she's also determined to find retribution. It's her husband Prabhakar who suggests that they show mercy. And Joseph makes sure to have a character tell Prabhakar that if more people were like him, this world would be a better place. The second hour is cleverly plotted with the screenplay echoing beats from the first film, including an interrogation sequence that crosses into brutality like the interrogation scene in Drishyam, and an end sequence similar to the one in the first film set against fields of verdant green. Almost as if after the emotional turmoil of the preceding events, we need to take a breather with nature. Joseph also preempts questions you might have about how George Kutty pulls off what he does. In one scene, George Kutty is working with the writer on the film he wants to produce. When the writer points out that the climax that George Kutty is suggesting seems risky, the hero would need to be very lucky, George Kutty replies, "It's a movie, sir. What's wrong if the hero turned out to be lucky or had blessings from God?" We take this leap of faith with George Kutty because Mohanlal imbues him with grace and gravitas. The character has little of the swag he had in the first film. He's as determined, but more weighed down by the elaborate deceptions he must create to stay one step ahead of the law. Though Joseph can't resist doffing his hat to his superstar. So in one scene, characters talk about how they're all George Kutty fans. He's our star, someone says. And in another, George Kutty says, I'm going to rule Malayalam cinema. He already does. It's also nice to see so many of the actors from the first film. Of course, Meena as Rani, Esther Anil as Anu, Ansiba Hassan as Anju, and Asha Sarath as Geeta Prabhakar. But also smaller characters like Suleiman, the cheerful tea shop owner played by Narayanan Nair, who remains a George Kutty loyalist. As with the first film, Joseph keeps directorial flourishes to a minimum and allows his plot to take center stage. In several scenes, he frames George Kutty against grilled windows, hinting that even as a free man, he is a prisoner. The film underlines this too often through imagery and dialogue, but perhaps Joseph wanted to make sure that this time around, there is no ambiguity, that viewers understand that George Kutty is a tainted hero who will never find peace. It's still a hell of a ride to witness his Machiavellian maneuvers. You can watch Drishyam 2 The Resumption on Amazon Prime Video. This review is brought to you by Mubi, a curated film streaming service showing exceptional films from around the globe. Mubi premieres a new film every day, showcasing true classics to modern masterpieces from across India and all over the world. With Mubi, each and every film is hand-selected, so you'll never spend more time looking for something great to watch than actually watching something great. It's like your own personal film festival, streaming anytime, anywhere. This week, I recommend Subarnarekha by Ritvik Ghatak, playing on Mubi.